What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand, a place for entrepreneurs and content creators looking to build your brand, business, and impact. And y'all, I am so excited to be sharing with you guys how to effectively market your business this year. And we all know how important that is. But first, I want to share with you an incredible tool that I have been loving. This portion of this video was sponsored by Google. And I am so excited to be sharing about Google's Applied Digital Skills. So Applied Digital Skills is Google's free video-based digital literacy curriculum for people of all ages who want to learn how to grow their skills for work, for school, for life, and even for entrepreneurship. They have so many lessons. Each lesson has a series of easy to follow videos that break down these digital skills into super practical steps. And it teaches you how to use Google Workspace tools like Docs, Slides, Sheets. There are a lot of lessons to choose from. They have over 140 project-based lessons that have more videos in them. You can filter them by audience, by the digital tool. So if you want to learn about Google Docs, they have the ability to filter through that. And then you can also filter by topic. So I enjoy the ones that are really practical for my entrepreneurship lifestyle. So they have one on how to track tasks and due dates in Gmail, how to use Google Drive to organize your files, and managing your time with Google Sheets. It really helps to change my day-to-day experience with working through Gmail, with, managing my time. You always get a couple of little things in there that you just didn't know that the products even had in them when you're learning straight from Google. Also, some of the lessons are really in depth, so they even have one on how to start an online business. Okay, so I wanted to show you all one of my favorite collections in Applied Digital Skills, which is their Start or Grow Your Small Business collection. And they have lessons in here on how to do market research, writing a business plan, and even starting your online business. And y'all, let me just stress that this is free. It is a great free resource. And in here, you can see the amount of time that each one will probably take you. This one, building your online business, is 6 to 9 hours, which means that it goes into pretty good depth on how to start and build this business. So I want to show you guys the inside and just how it's set up. So when you scroll down, you can see the different lessons or units that each lesson has. And if you click the drop down arrow, you can actually see all the different videos that compile into each unit. So they really go far in depth, and this is material that should cost, but it doesn't. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of this resource. All you have to do is sign into your Google account, and it's really that simple. They have so many resources in Applied Digital Skills. You can check out the links below to learn more about Applied Digital Skills from Google. All you gotta do is sign in and create an account and start learning or teaching today. So thanks to Google for sponsoring that part of my video. Now let's get into the content. Now I wanna preface this by saying that marketing looks different these days. It is a little bit harder to market to people because people are getting really, really smart. And now with social media, it just brings a whole new landscape of what it even means to effectively market. And so I want to kind of debunk some things that you need super, super professional pictures or super large audience size to be able to effectively market. You don't. I'm going to be sharing with you these tips to help you stand out and to help you market your business better. The first thing is to understand that marketing is a one-to-one relationship. And this is a concept that a lot of people miss, especially a lot of big businesses. This is where, as a small business, you actually have a huge advantage to be able to really directly communicate with your audience. So what I mean by a one-to-one relationship is that you are the one person creating it, if you are creating your own social media content, and the person on the other side is one person who is consuming it. So social media honestly creates this really direct line of communication, And a lot of people treat it as if they're talking to a ton of people. Now, yes, your audience size may be large, or it's probably more than one person, but at the same time, it's one person consuming at a time. So just keep that in mind. Speak directly to that person. Try not to use a whole lot of generalizations when you're speaking. If you are talking about some ice cream that you really love and why you really love it, you can speak really candidly and very conversationally, and as if you're talking to one person. So if you're talking to your mom or if you're talking to your best friend, you're not like, hey everyone, I am so happy to be chatting with you today. I, have this recommendation that I think you all would love. You're speaking directly like, oh my gosh, mom, I just tried the best ice cream ever. You have to try it. It tastes so bomb. And so really think about taking out those generalization terms like everyone, you guys, and just speaking very generally. Try to speak more you focused so that the person on the other side feels more compelled to take action. So that's step number one, is thinking about it as a one-to-one relationship, trying not to speak to your audience as if they're this massive group of people, but considering it as me individually speaking to 1,000 people, but at one time. I hope that makes sense. Number two is to be personable or relatable. This is like a huge marketing win right now, and anytime. It's always great to have a personable approach in your marketing, and really this just means tell stories. Please tell stories. Tell how things relate to you. Tell why you're using them. Tell how you're using them. Share what purpose it serves in your life. Share about yourself. You don't have to share all of these things. You don't have to get super personal. But it is important to be personable and to be relatable and to share different connection points with your audience. My rule of thumb is to go narrow but deep. So if there is an area or a few different areas in your life that you are willing to share a lot more of, that gives an illusion that you're actually sharing more than what you are. So for example, for me, I am full game with sharing anything about my business. So I'm a super open book when it comes to that. I shared with you guys when I was living with my parents, when I started from, that little corner desk, and how things have evolved. I share with you a lot of the struggles I've gone through. I share a lot when it comes to building my business, and it's always a story attached to that. So just making sure that when you are sharing content, there is some type of personable touch to it. There is some type of anecdote or something that you can share that drives action. Just sharing information does not build the connection with your audience for them to take action. So the bottom line of this is to tell a story with every single piece of content that you put out, from your Instagram stories to your YouTube videos to your Instagram posts and the captions, but not just individual stories. Make them all shape up to be the story of you or your brand or whatever it is that you are trying to market. So just think about a season of a show. Every episode has its own story, right? But it still aligns with the greater story of the entire series. So just think about your marketing as that. Each piece of content that you put out is another bit of the story that's adding up to this overall season or this overall series. And you want it all to flow, but it also should feel authentic and personable and relatable. Number three is to try multiple platforms, but don't try to be everywhere. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I love a good solid 2 forms of content, a long form of content and a short form of content. So long form is typically very value-packed long form content, similarly to what you guys are watching now. But that can be a podcast, that can be IGTV, that can be YouTube videos, that can be a blog. It doesn't have to be a YouTube video, but one form of a long form content. And then the second type of content I love is short form content. This is super engaging, more fast-paced, interactive content. So this is like Instagram stories, Snapchat, Instagram feed, you know, things like that. And then I also recommend an SEO driven platform. So if you have a YouTube channel, then you know that is SEO driven, or if you have a blog post, or if you have Pinterest. But things like Instagram are not as SEO friendly as others. So try to incorporate a platform that is SEO friendly. And I also want to just encourage you to try other platforms like Pinterest, like LinkedIn. A lot of people are on Clubhouse now. Obviously, use your own discretion on what you have the bandwidth to try, but do some research and see if there is potential in other spaces if you feel like Instagram just isn't clicking for you right now, or maybe you want to pour into your Instagram from another platform, perhaps like Pinterest. You want to use that to pour followers into your Instagram, or you want to use YouTube to funnel your Instagram. Think about how you can make your social media platforms work together instead of trying to equally grow each one that you may not have the bandwidth to do. It's just important to make sure that that top of the funnel social platform is the one that's going to be able to funnel people into those other secondary platforms. But the bottom line is try new things. Number 4 is to focus on customer retention. So a big part of marketing that is really important is making sure that people who have purchased purchase again. So if you have a service-based business and you have a membership club, trying to make sure that people don't drop out of that membership club, and taking it a step further, that people who are in that membership club maybe book your one-on-one services, or if people book your one-on-one services, they get into your membership club, or figuring out that synergy of how you can keep a client climbing your sales ladder. Or if you are a product-based business, how can I keep the customers buying more? You see a lot of large companies doing this. I promise y'all, every time I buy something from a store, I'm getting emails after emails that, you know, are like, back in stock, spring favorites, we see you clicked this, don't miss out, you know, and they're really trying to make sure that you are a repeat customer. So it is really important to not just focus your efforts on building brand awareness all the time, but focusing on the people who are actually aware of your brand, and how can you keep them active and engaged with your business and buying more. And I just want to let you know that it is so much easier to sell to someone who you've already sold to than to sell to someone that you've never sold to before. So don't skip on your customer retention efforts. Number 5 is to cultivate a community and not just a following. And I love this because I feel like I could do a whole video on creating a community, because this is where it really takes effort on your part, to really interact with your audience, to really ask questions that are going to create conversations amongst them. Creating a community, and this can be something that you do secondary to your social media platform. So maybe you want to create a private Facebook group where it may be free, but it's just more of a community type of environment that you can really nurture that group of people. And at that point, they're warmer leads for your business. So you can create a Patreon or a Facebook group or a separate private Instagram page, or maybe you make, you know, people, your close friends, by request, and you know, you interact with them a little bit differently. But creating that community feel where people feel like, okay, I can comment on her picture, or I can comment on this YouTube video, and you know, other people are also going to contribute and create this environment of, I don't know, just great vibes. I just want you guys to really be aware of the fact that there are people who are making up your following. So use them to your advantage and really get them talking as well. You don't want to be the only one contributing. You want to have people engaged and really bouncing off of each other. So you can do this, like I said, with multiple platforms. It doesn't have to be on your social media channels like your Instagram or whatever. Although I do think it's great to create that sense of community everywhere that you're present, but you can take that a step further by creating those communities in other places. Number 6 is to go live often. Like, go live. Go live. I did a 5 days of going live on Instagram challenge, and the results were insane. I was super excited to see how much more engagement I had from going live frequently. So if you can go live frequently, do that. If you feel like it's something you can't quite write into your social media strategy yet, and you prefer to just kind of go live randomly, that's fine, just to get yourself used to it. But it is always best to go live planned. Like, if you plan a live, let your audience know you're going live. Maybe even share the topic that you may be discussing on your live. That's always going to get more engagement. A lot of people are treating lives almost like a TV show now, where they are going live at the same time every week, different episode, maybe a special guest. Like, people are really pouring a lot of their efforts into live. So I say go live a lot. Number 7 is to create a Google My Business account. This is basically the account that you see if you Google like a random car shop or something in your area. The little sidebar is what is Google My Business. But this is going to help with SEO. It's going to kind of help your brand have some more legitimacy, especially if you are a brick and mortar or if you are a product-based business. Having the Google My Business is a great thing to do for you for your SEO. So I would highly recommend creating a Google My Business profile. Number 8 is to build trust. Now, this is not something that you can just go do, obviously. It's something that takes a lot of time and energy and effort, but that is the goal. When it comes to marketing, the goal is not always to just make the sale. The goal is to build trust, because at the end of the day, you can make the sale, someone may not like it, and you may start getting bad reviews, and then that diminishes trust. So building trust means making sure that your product or service is actually really good. So that builds trust, because once someone makes that transaction, that's great. But once they get the product and they actually enjoy it, that's the ultimate trust builder, and that's what helps them stay a customer and retains them. So making sure that the product is actually really good, sharing testimonials, sharing positive feedback, improving, and really responding to negative feedback. One of the things that I hate seeing is when I see a bad review on something and I don't see a response to it, or I see this really like snarky response from the company, or if there's just no customer service involved. So really making sure that you're building that trust with people. Another way to build trust is just through your marketing content, showing up consistently, engaging with your audience, sharing quality content is really the way to build trust, to get them to purchase, or to get them to sign up, or to get them to click the link in your bio. However you're trying to, whatever your call to action is, trust ultimately is what gets them there. It's also what keeps them there. So make sure that both sides of that transaction is good. Number 9 is to do influencer marketing the right way. I just want to emphasize that having a lot of followers is not always the best way to go when you are trying to find influencers to use for marketing purposes. Really doing your research on the type of influencers you want to use, why the product or service makes sense for that person to market to their audience. Just really doing your research on the influencer, because everybody can't market everything. Everything ain't for everybody. So I just want to let y'all know that it's not just about how many followers someone has. Looking at their engagement, looking at even who is commenting on their stuff. Do these people look like people who would be interested in your product or service? So really do your research, and also in your approach of reaching out, please, please, please go watch this video where I talk about how to reach out to influencers and the proper steps to take in order to be noticed, essentially. And then number 10 is kind of a spinoff of that. Is I love sharing with you guys to use micro influencers. Go after people who have small but mighty audiences, who may not have even 10,000 followers, but their audiences are really engaged with them and they really trust them and they really take action. Some micro influencers have a lot more engagement and can probably turn over a lot more sales than even a lot of large influencers. So yeah, I just want you to not rule out anyone just because of their audience size. Whew. Okay, y'all. So I hope this video was helpful. Marketing is ultimately storytelling. And if you can tell a story, if you take nothing else from this video, if you can tell a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, then you can market. But you have to make sure that that storytelling is interwoven into every single piece of content that you have, because that is really what's going to create a standout marketing presence for your business. So I love you guys. If you have any questions or any struggles when it comes to marketing right now, if you feel like you just can't stand out, you don't know what you're doing wrong, please comment below. I would love to answer your questions and just give you some more insight in the comments. I love you guys. If you would like to subscribe, you are always welcome to join the fam. Y'all know I love my YouTube fam, so make sure you subscribe if that's what you like to do. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.